On this episode of the Hanford Insider, we have a Central Valley Foodies update from Jordan Burrow. You'll get an update of Hanford news and the community calendar. Then I'll be back later with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, March 3rd.
This is the Hanford Insider Podcast, where we dive into what makes our community tick. From local stories at hidden gems to conversations with people shaping our neighborhood, we're here to celebrate, explore, and connect. I'm your host, Rob Bentley. Whether you're new to Hanford or a longtime local, this is your source for everything happening in our town. From events and news to unique conversations with people who make Hanford such a unique community. I hope you enjoyed the format. Let's take a look at this week's community news. The Hanford City Council will meet on Tuesday, March 4th. Some of the things on the agenda for the study session at 4 o'clock include a review of block grant funds, an update regarding CalPERS funds, and the first look at a new city social media policy. This has been a hot-button issue as many citizens believe that they should be able to comment on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media posts. I can see both sides. You want transparency, but the keyboard warriors could misuse the privilege. Who would moderate the comments? Like I said, this will all be discussed on Tuesday. Some of the items on the 7 o'clock regular meeting include funding the Hanford Civic Auditorium's Century of Memories celebration in June. The council will also receive the final report from Hanford Winter Wonderland. In next week's episode, I'll have a recap of this week's City Council meeting. In other news, residents in northwest Hanford, near the corner of 12th and Fargo, were sad to see the walnut orchard come down last week. The field is being cleared for a new subdivision being built by San Joaquin Valley Homes. The city of Hanford has announced a mattress recycling program. Residents can drop off their old mattresses at the City Corporation Yard, located at 900 South 10th Avenue, out by the fairgrounds, Mondays through Fridays and every third Saturday of the month from 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. For more specific information, visit the city website at hanford.gov. Here's some things coming up on our community calendar. Ghost of a Chance is now showing at the Temple Theater in Hanford. This King's Players production runs for the next 3 weekends. For tickets and information, visit kingsplayers.org. The bands from Hanford High, Hanford West, and Sierra Pacific are presenting a concert at the Hanford High Presentation Center at 6 p.m. on Monday, March 3rd. The History of Kings County Agriculture display at the Carnegie Museum of Kings County is now open. Here's what curator Michael Seamus had to say about the display at Thursday night's opening VIP reception.
We concentrated on part one about Tulare Lake. Tulare Lake is that mystery body of water that sometimes appears south of here. And we wanted to discuss the lake and how it has an impact on Kings County agriculture even through today. So you'll see different exhibits in there regarding the lake. We were also very fortunate through the generous donation of the photographs from Wilma Holt and her family. We were able to provide photographic evidence of some of the earliest farming that happened in the Tulare Lake bottom with Elmer Von Glahn and William F. Turner, and you'll be able to see those pictures inside. We were also able to find through the photo albums pictures of all 5 of the dredges that were used on Tulare Lake to build and maintain the levees that are out there. At first, we were a little nervous about what we were going to try to accomplish, but once again, the community has come forward with some great artifacts, great pictures, and we are trying to do the best we can to display that so that you can enjoy it for the next few months.
The museum is located at 109 East 8th Street and is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Visit CarnegieMuseumofKingsCounty.org for more information. The Main Street Hanford beer tasting event, Everybody's Irish in downtown Hanford, will be held on Friday, March 14th at 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at mainstreethanford.com. The King Symphony Orchestra is presenting their annual Young Artists Spring Concert on Sunday, March 16th at 4 p.m. in the Hanford Fox Theater. For tickets and information, visit kingsymphony.org. If you have an event coming up and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. It's the most comprehensive community calendar available. Well, it's great to welcome back to the show Jordan Burrow from Central Valley Foodies. How you doing, Jordan?
Doing good. How you doing, Rob? Thanks for having me on.
Doing fantastic. Thanks. We visited last. I checked it. It was December 10th in 2023, and a lot has happened on the foodie scene since then, and we have new places that have opened up. But before we get into talking about specific restaurants and stuff, let's talk a little bit about the Central Valley's Foodies Facebook page and what you have on there and what people can expect to see.
Yeah, so the Central Valley Foodies Facebook group is a community-based Facebook group focusing all about the local food scene in Central Valley. Used to be originally just a small group, just about Kings County food scene. And basically I took over the page and wanted to expand it, open to everything Central Valley food. So primarily focusing on small food businesses, small farms, Central Valley, food education, anything food related. And that's a place really, you can go on there and write reviews on local small mom and pop restaurants you go to, and then also find out information about like food events and local things going on in your area.
Yeah, the Facebook page is called Central Valley Foodies, and you'll see lots of pictures of different dishes that people have posted, and like you said, reviews and recommendations for places that maybe you haven't heard of. So let's talk about, actually, it's kind of funny, you're at the planning mill in Visalia. I'm here in Hanford at home, but
yeah,
tell us a little bit about some of the action going around in the local area.
Yeah, so I just recently relocated to Visalia, and Visalia has a good food scene. A lot of new things going on right now, especially in downtown. There's been a lot of changes with some of the restaurants down there recently. Sequoia Brewing, which had 3 locations, I believe. They had one Clovis, Tower, and then downtown Visalia. They're actually closing up recently after, I think, like 20 years. That was coming out. So that's some major change going on. So who's to fill in their space? That's, a new question mark. Where their employees going to go? Lots of we're talking about that. So there's that. Corby's was just announced today. I don't know if you saw that. Corby's Rock and Roll. It's like a bar and grill type place. Has concerts and stuff like that. Featured like, classic rock type bands, stuff like that. They're going to be closing up. Sounds like they're going to be putting an Irish up there. So serving Irish food and beers and stuff like that. Those are 2 things that come off the top of my head.
Yeah, specifically here in Hanford, there's been talks of different places opening up. The only thing really firm that we know is that the city was able to sell the courthouse building to a developer who is going to spend about $10 million to renovate the courthouse downtown. And Barrel House Brewing is actually going to open up upstairs in the courthouse building. And we're still about a year or more away from that. But they've had some unique partnerships with, for instance, Harris Ranch in Bakersfield. They actually had a place there. So I'm sure as more places open, that'll encourage other restaurants and brew pubs to open. Also wanted to talk about food trucks because that seems to be a popular topic. And I know here in Hanford, we had quite a selection of them at the Hanford Winter Wonderland, and the Thursday Night Marketplace in Hanford that starts in May also has a really great selection of food trucks. How about elsewhere in the Valley? What are some great food trucks that stand out to you?
Man, there's a lot. There's a lot of good food trucks. I think the top of my head. I really like, I've been on kind of a little health kick recently, but I really like that acai bowl. They have a location downtown Hanford, off, what is it? Not Main Street, but is it
Urban and Lacey.
Urban and Lacey right there. Yeah, I love that spot. It's good. It's fun to get something healthy. It's family friendly, and then they have a truck that they take certain places, and they take to like the farmers mart, Thursday night market, Hanford. And so I really like to support them when I get a chance. Other food trucks kind of things. I really like Taco San Marcos out here in Visalia. That's a really solid spot. They have a lot of options because they do the birria tacos, which is basically like a shredded beef. I think it's traditionally goat, but it's a shredded beef taco, and then it's got cheese like in between the tortillas, something like that. They grill. It's really good. They also have good options for people like on different diets. They have like a keto versions, and they just have a wide variety of options on their menu. It's all like really fresh and family owned and small here in Citrus Valley.
Yeah, so here locally, I mentioned the Thursday Night Marketplace. I really like the Barbecue Queen at Thursday Night Marketplace. I'm a barbecue guy. I love I love that stuff. And Mega Texas Barbecue in Fresno is just outstanding, and they're receiving rave reviews all over the social media and stuff. You got to check out their social media pages. They've got quite the dishes on display.
Yes.
There's also I like a Golden Lumpia Warrior. That they serve great Filipino food. And then a new one that just opened up recently, and they're kind of getting out there in the community, is the Eldest Mobile Bistro. That is a local food truck, and they've been doing some great stuff. I'm also a big fan of Chef Gray, if I had mentioned that before, but I'm a big fan of Chef Gray. They have, I found them at the Carnegie Museum of Kings County car show back in June, and wherever they show up, I try to hit them up. A couple places here locally in Hanford or maybe in Kingsburg that I have really enjoyed is, of course, Cheyenne's Steakhouse in Kingsburg is outstanding. And then I also like the new remodeled De Chico's restaurant that they have in downtown Kingsburg. They moved downtown onto Draper Street, and they have a really nice place there. De Chico's does. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on and here in the area, and not only food trucks, but mom and pop places. How about breakfast places? The Green Valley Cafe in Hanford is just like, I would go there like every day if I could.
I have a few favorite spots, Central Valley, for breakfast, and that's one of them, Green Valley Cafe. I really love the Overland Cafe. Christy and the girls who work back there, it's just stick to your ribs, old school food. You can't go wrong. The portions are huge. It's like going to grandmother's house for breakfast. You always know what you're going to get. You're always going to be satisfied. Price is good, even with today's economy. I mean, for what you get. So I really like those spots. And then in Visalia, I really like, there's a little place called Buttermilk. And I think that I believe they're a family. I believe they're related to the Beecham Biscuits out in Pismo is a similar business. So they do like, breakfast biscuits, biscuits gravy is kind of what they're known for, but they also do like breakfast tacos, breakfast burritos, and some other things. But that's a really cool spot. And there's a couple other little hidden gems out here in Visalia. Mama K's, I think it's out kind of, might be like in an industrial kind of area. Really good, breakfast food. Small.
Yeah, there's so many places. It's and you have to look. My wife and I had the chance to travel to Cambria in the fall, and we tried out a place called the Hidden Kitchen in Cambria, and it's like you say, it's just one of those places that's tucked away, doesn't get much publicity or anything like that, but it was delicious and it was a great atmosphere. So Jordan and I would love to hear your suggestions as to places. You can leave comments on the Central Valley Foodies Facebook page, or you can stop by the Hanford Insider Facebook page and make comments below the podcast post on what restaurants you particularly enjoy. We'd love, and I'm sure Jordan would love to hear more about those so he can get the word out about those places. If I didn't mention your restaurant, if you have a restaurant or a food truck in town, I apologize, but we try to get to as many as we can. But again, leave your information in the comments on either page, and we'll try to help you get the word out there.
Definitely. And yeah, check out the Facebook group. It's kind of like where the heart of everything goes on for that page. The Instagram, I'm really active on just because I like that platform. So I use Instagram a lot to share about local restaurants in the 559, food information, farm events. yeah, there's a lot going on. You just gotta look forward, keep your eyes open.
Well, that's great. Hey, Jordan, thank you for joining me again. And I can't wait to meet up with you again, maybe when we get some new restaurants opening up in the area.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
After my interview with Jordan, I did a little more research and I found some interesting fun facts that you've heard about or maybe you haven't. I understand that after several delays, the Don Pancho Mexican Bar and Grill is slated to open soon in the Hanford Mall and the Old Que Pasa spot at the west entrance to the mall. I also saw on Instagram that Off the Vine Sandwich Shop will be opening a full-scale restaurant and bar in the old Fatty Albert space on 7th Street, just east of Doughty Street. I encourage you to follow Off the Vine on social media for some construction updates and some great pictures of the food that they offer. I'm a big fan of Off the Vine, so I'm excited about this new adventure. I also reported a few months ago that the space that was formerly occupied by Artworks and then later The Works on 6th Street between Irwin and Doughty Street is also being remodeled for a new brew pub in downtown Hanford. Now, if we could only get some good news from Superior Dairy, huh? As I said, at any point a new owner wants to come forward and share their good news with us, please contact me. I'd love to help you get the word out and end all of this speculation. Now let's go to Eric for this week's exciting high school sports news.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
We start with the Sierra Pacific girls basketball team as they headed up to Selland Arena Friday to take on Monache with a Central Section D2 title on the line. It was a back-and-forth game early on before Sierra Pacific went on a 9-0 run thanks to a pair of Lila Love threes and an Asia Jackson three-pointer to take a 16-8 lead in the first quarter. Both teams traded baskets in the second quarter, with the Golden Bears leading 26-19 at halftime. But Monache would cut into the Sierra Pacific lead in the third. However, 7 points from Niang Ayuen helped the Golden Bears cling to their lead 38-37 heading into the fourth quarter. The Marauders' push continued in the fourth quarter as they tied the game late at 42 apiece. A Niang Ayuen bucket put the Golden Bears up by 2, and after a Monache free throw, Asia Jackson hit a dagger 3 with under a minute to go to put Sierra Pacific up by 4. A few Riley Rue free throws iced the game, and the Golden Bears celebrated a 50-43 victory. In his first season at the helm, Coach Victor Chavarin Jr. and the Golden Bears are Central Section Division II champions and will head to the CIF state playoffs as a 2-seed in Division II, facing off with 15-seed Grant High from Sacramento in round 1 on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And we've got our first baseball and softball scores of the season. We'll start with baseball, where Hanford West picked up a pair of wins, taking down Minarets 4-0 and Mount Whitney 4-3 to start their year 2-0. Sierra Pacific and Hanford High split their 2 games last week, with the Golden Bears taking down Sanger 7-1 and falling to Madera 10-1. The Bullpups lost 11-2 to Kerman before bouncing back with a 1-0 win over Liberty. In softball, Hanford West was the only team in action last week, and they got off to a 2-0 start, beating Dinuba 14-3 before edging out Tulare Western 4-3. Sierra Pacific opens their season Tuesday versus Dos Palos, and Hanford High will take on Madera South in their season opener on Monday. As always, we like to cover as many local sports as possible, so if you have a score report or a story idea, make sure to email hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. If you enjoy the podcast and you'd like to show your support, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation. If you'd like to join the Hanford Insider email list, stop by my website at hanfordinsider.com to sign up for updates. You'll also get an exclusive copy of my newsletter in your inbox each week. I also need your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media or telling a friend. For more information about this show, you can find this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider. If you have a show idea, be sure to email me at hanfordinsider@gmail.com and I'll look into it. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.